In the race between the lion and the antelope usually wins. That's why some people rise while others stall. Because those who have a burning reason, a why they can't ignore, will always outlast those who are only interested in a result. We often confuse goals with purpose, but a goal is something you want. Purpose is something you are. It is what you become when you strip away everything superficial and ask yourself, what can I not live without? You wake up one day, and even though the world is spinning, your soul feels still, not peaceful, just empty. Like you're walking through life, wearing a mask, saying all the right things, doing all the expected things, but inside, nothing moves. No spark, no hunger, just repetition, a life on autopilot. It doesn't care how many followers you have, how much money you make, or what title is next to your name. It's those nights when you can't sleep because your heart is screaming for more. Every day, the lion wakes up hungry. Not because he wants to be great, but because if he doesn't hunt, he dies. Those who kind of want it, from those who need it, like oxygen. You must find something worth waking up for, even when the world is dark. The moment you cross the finish line, the applause, the medal, the success, that's what makes it worth it. Stop believing you're only worthy once you've made it. Make sure it's not just something that looks good on paper, but something your soul would fight for in the dark. Because when you find that quitting is no longer an option, not because you're invincible, but because letting go would feel like dying. So run. Run not because it's easy, not because it's fun, but because it's who you are. Because somewhere deep inside, this is your race, this is your life, this is your moment. And you're not here to survive, you're here to become. You're worthy now because you're in the fight, because you haven't given up, because every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you still believe in something. And belief is everything. In the race between the lion and the antelope runs for its life, but the lion runs for its survival. The difference, one runs with fear, the other with need, and need is stronger than fear. Need is what drives the final sprint when your legs want to collapse. Need is what lifts you when no one's clapping. Need is what reminds you, this matters. But the truth is, the chase is the reward. The grind, the growth, the becoming. That's where the transformation happens. That's where your identity is reshaped, where your strength is born. Because every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you say no to comfort and yes to growth, you're becoming someone new. Not a perfect version, not a famous one, but a stronger one, a truer one. And that version of you, the one forged in sweat, in sacrifice, in silence, that's the person who can handle the dream when it finally arrives. You must learn to burn from the inside, because the fire that's lit by others will eventually fade, but the fire you build yourself, that one can light your path through any storm. Because the world is full of people who start strong, who get excited, who plan, post, share, but when the fire fades, they stop. They wait for the next wave of inspiration, the next external push. But lions don't wait. Lions don't need applause. Lions move because their hunger is real. That's not motivation, that's survival, and that's how you have to treat your goals. Like breath, like blood, like something essential. Not a wish, not a dream, not a someday, but a now, a must, a need. It's when the world says, you're not enough, and you whisper back, watch me. That's how warriors are made. Not by talent, not by luck, but by choosing to keep going when there's no applause, no reward, no audience, only the mission. Pain only cares about what's left when everything comfortable is gone. You'll crawl through broken glass if you have to. You'll wake up at 4 a.m., you'll get rejected, ridiculed, doubted, and you'll still move forward. Not because it's easy, but because the cost of standing still has become too high. Because deep inside, staying where you are is more painful than pushing toward what you were born for. And the truth is, most people run from it, but some stare it in the face. They feel the burn, and they keep walking. Not because they enjoy it, but because they've learned something the rest of the world hasn't. Pain, when embraced, becomes power. You start to question everything, not because you're weak, but because you're lost. That's where people break. That's where they give up. Not always in big ways, but in small, quiet ones. Skipping the workout, avoiding the call, saying I'm fine when they're anything but, and no one ever taught them how to fill that void, how to find a why that lights a fire under their feet. People keep smiling, chasing careers, posting pictures, making plans, and you're just trying to remember the last time you actually felt alive. And that's the truth of life. If you truly want to win, you have to act like you have no other option. The fire inside them was never hotter than the pressure outside. That thing you would chase even if no one was watching. Even if it never made you $1. Even if it scared you. Especially if it scared you, because that's your calling. That's your purpose. Not all at once, but piece by piece. And in its place grows something stronger than comfort. Meaning, you miss the version of yourself who used to want more, who used to feel more. But if your purpose burns like survival, you become unstoppable. You don't negotiate with fear. You don't argue with doubt. You just keep moving. because it's no longer about winning. It's about not dying inside. You have to want it like you're drowning, and it's the only air left in the world. And he was right, because when your purpose becomes bigger than your pain, your excuses disappear. That one difference changes everything. A need can wait. A purpose cannot. But when you're running because your very existence depends on it, you find strength in places you didn't even know existed. You don't stop to rest. You don't stop to think. You just move. Because stopping means losing everything. This is what separates winners from survivors. One is playing for a prize, the other is fighting for meaning. Most people quit not because they weak, but because their why wasn't strong enough. See, when you don't have a reason to run, you start walking. And that's why you must find your lion. That thing that wakes you up in the middle of the night. Pain has a strange way of showing us who we really are. It strips away the surface, the filters, the masks, the image. You see, purpose isn't born in comfort. It's forged in fire. And that shift, that moment you choose progress over pity, purpose over pain, that S, when you stop being a victim of life and become a force of it, that's what separates those who try from those who become. People often think the goal is the reward,